Hey everyone, Jeffrey Lerman here from SlitherGames.com, and today we're checking out a demo for Dungeons and Degenerate Gamblers. I actually played I don't know, I guess it felt longer than I thought, but like an hour and a half of this last night because I was actually really enjoying it. I recorded a couple other demo playthroughs that you may have already seen on the channel, depending on how I do my uploads, but anyway, yeah, no, I was actually really enjoying this. After doing the last few demos I recorded, I was like, I'm kind of tired. I don't want to do a recording where I'm kind of low energy, so let me just play a demo and check it out, see how it is. And with games like this, and I say games like this, there aren't really many. I mean, let's be honest, it's probably a lot. This game's going to get compared frequently, probably constantly, to Balatro. And I've only played a demo of that, so I can't speak well on comparisons, but I definitely see it, especially, it's a more unique card game, but I'm rambling at this point. Regardless, so Dungeons and Degenerate Gamblers is made by Purple Moss Collectors, and as of recently, now published by Yogscast Games. I saw in one of their notes, and also the Steam page, that it's planned for later this year, 2024. We'll see what happens. Obviously, dates can change, but regardless. This game is essentially Blackjack with a twist where there's a lot more going on. It's more like an RPG. They do describe it, the devs describe it as a roguelike adventure, which is a good way of, I would say, describing it. So, I'll hop in, let the game kind of speak for itself a bit. As opposed to just being Blackjack, which, if people aren't familiar, I don't really want to explain Blackjack. I don't want to get too into it. I'm thinking basically your goal is to get to 21 traditionally with your cards. You hit, every time you hit, you get a card. If you stand, you're saying, alright, this is the amount that I'm going to stay with below 21 or at 21, as long as you don't go above 21 and lose. You're battling against the dealer. In this case, there are other NPCs and characters you'll encounter and fight, essentially. But the interesting part here is kind of how they do the difficulty. At a glance, you're just looking at a bunch of aces, but there's more to it. So, for example, the easiest level, which I'm probably going to pick just so it's not as difficult for the sake of recording, hearts. I think it's whenever you win with hearts, they'll heal you. I don't know if you have to win on a blackjack or not, because certain descriptions were a little bit difficult to follow. Clubs deal extra damage, spades grant you shields because you have health, you can see at the top left. Diamonds grant chips, which you can use to buy new cards, to sleep at an inn for health, like random little events like that, which are kind of neat. Nothing, it's just, like it says, nothing special. And then there's the glitch one, which I played a couple times, which is actually really cool. They put question marks because there really isn't a way to describe the difficulty. It's just, there are a few glitch cards in your hand or in your deck, I guess. They're just random. They can be any card. And going with the creativity of this game and games like Balatro, I keep saying games like, but again, not many. Anyway, there are a lot of unique cards. It's not just, a normal deck of cards, which is what makes it interesting. So let's get to it. There are also like little bits of kind of story. Oh yeah, and a big detail too. It says at the top, damage is equal to the score difference. If you bust, you count as 0. So like if I got 21 and the enemy got, 20, that's 1 damage I'll deal to them, and vice versa. When you approach the old tavern, it reeks of ale and addiction. You're going to have to master the strange version of blackjack they play here. One thing I thought was neat too, I don't know if I can check it in the settings. It's minor, but I thought it was neat. You can choose to have smoking or not smoking, like no smoking allowed, and all I think that does is, I think sometimes you have a hand at the bottom, like hands at the bottom of the screen, you'll have a cigarette in your hand. They might have other cases of it, but I thought that was kind of neat. And it defaults to off, so random stuff. How about a drink? So we start out fighting the bartender. The way this goes, it's not quite like kind of like a Slay the Spire type game where you're going and, well, I guess it's a tiny bit, but I was gonna say where it's like a visible path you can choose as you beat each battle, but it does go in, how do I word it? Because you work through floors, but each floor has like, I don't know, maybe 10 events and battles, and you can kind of choose along the way. Yeah, I guess it does actually kind of still play out that way. It's just visually it looks different, which is fine, but you'll see what I mean as I get through it. I'm rambling more than playing. That's what happens when you play a bunch of a game before you actually record it. So I've got a King of Hearts, pretty normal card. they have a loyalty card. This one, pretty much what it does is it says every 10 times this card is played, it just becomes a blackjack. So you'll get 21, or it probably becomes whatever you need. Say you're at, yeah, it says it that way. Say you're at like 18, it'll give you 3. So I have a king, I'm at 10 out of 21, we'll hit again. 13, that's 8. Yeah, they're a big thing about, so this is something I'm curious how it would compare to Balatro for some people. You still have to be able to do quick math off the top of your head, which they could theoretically just add to the game if they really wanted to kind of make it more easy, but like I said 8 I think a second ago. What I was doing is seeing how many I don't want to say points, but how much I need to get to 21. So like right now I'm at 14 of 21, so that's 7. So it's like I have to get a 7 or below, otherwise I'll bust. So it starts to get a little, you know, it's simple math, but you have to be smart about it. I don't want to just stand. Oh yeah, that's the other thing too I didn't think about with the decks. It's not like, so like I can look at what's in my deck right now and you can eventually add to this as well. That I think is similar to Balatro. It's not like I'm, you know, the dealer's just dealing a whole, you know, deck of cards. So these are the only cards for the most part that I can get right now. But they can also like steal my cards or swap cards. So 14's a little, let's play it, let's gamble a little. Yeah, see, I got a 10, so I busted. Unless he busts, I'm gonna take all the damage. Yeah. See, that kind of hurt pretty bad. He's only got 5 health, so he's easy to take out, but I still need to beat him. And the kind of neat thing too they do here is it says he'll stand on 17. So that means if he gets 17 or higher, I'm pretty sure he'll always stand. 14. Ugh. Just gonna stand. Alright, I got 14 through. See, that worked out for me because he busted. But the fun part of this game with the kind of like a almost turn-based battling game is even when you have like a low number that you want to stand on, like 14, if say he got 17, then the difference is only 3, so I'm gonna take 3 damage, as opposed to like the first round where I busted and he did 17 damage because I had nothing like to defend with essentially. And as the bartender said, even though I've been rambling, you get to pick a random card after each battle. I got to spend my chips to reveal a special card. This also explains, here you can see very well all the random cards that exist in this game, which again, makes it interesting. So we have half of diamonds, which it's as stupid as it sounds. I think I found a card that was literally pi, like 3.14, and it just kept going. But what does it say? On play, it's 0. When you stand, it rounds up. So this is pretty much 1, but 0 at first. So it's, I don't know. Oh, it says it only rounds up if you don't bust. That's cool. I didn't notice that before. This one's interesting. Pretty much, there are 3 numbers on it. You can choose to reveal 1, 2, or 3 total. It's up to you, and what is it? They're from 1 to 9, so you can get like 3 9s, I think is the way I understand it. But it also gives you chips. That's cool. On what do we got? Flashcard. Time to learn. Randomly select a number from 1 to 10. Exploit. Change the value of this card to the selected number. So exploiting is this yellow chip I have up here. There are a few ways to get it. Once I pick a card, I'm pretty sure the bartender will give me away. And they just certain cards that are exploitable let you use that chip on it. First card. I was always mixed on how I felt about this one. On play, swap who hits first. I don't know. I guess it gives you more data to work with if they hit first. Yeah, I'll do that. Okay. Also, the bartender talks about the manager. He's like, can you put in a good word for me? So, like, there's a little bit of, I wouldn't say like a big story, but I'm sure if you play the game all the way through, there is a story. Chip on your shoulder. If you already have a score of at least 12, gain 1 advantage. Can only be used only once per round? Ugh. Understand if you have a score at least 17, gain 1 advantage. So, like, it's easy to get over 12, but you only get 1. 17, harder to get over, but more likely to happen, or to get more of. Got the Bard and the Drunk. The Bard has a silly message. The Drunk, I think, is easier to fight. I do the Drunk. The Bard just says something. It's like a reference to the Witcher show, right? Yeah. The Ovalia of Plenty. What does he say? I think in this he says, give a coin to your Bard, or something like that. So the Drunk is interesting. He can change the bust amount, one of his cards. Can I look at his deck? I can. is get the rules card. Choose to set your or your opponent's bust limit to 20 or 22 for the rest of the encounter. Which, if I was smarter, I'd probably think about it and be like, oh, you know, if it's 20 or if it's 22, it makes it harder because of these cards that I have, which I'm not. But it's kind of interesting to think about. I'm gonna do something gross. Oh, there we go. Cracked my elbow. I don't do it often, but it felt like it needed it. If I just disturbed you, I apologize. Alright, so I made it so, what? He stood on 13. I forget what he stands on. Why did he stand on 13? That's a good start. Cool thing about aces, which people who haven't played Blackjack don't know, an ace, a normal one at least, serves as either a 1 or an 11. That's just a basic Blackjack rule. So the way that works is like, say, you know, right now I'm at 13 and then I get a 10 and that makes me bust. The ace will switch to a 1 and drop it down, which is really cool. Or you just get lucky and get Blackjack. Good start for me, which gives me 1 advantage. Yeah, okay, he stands on 13, that's what I forget. The cool thing about him standing on 13 means he's very easy to beat. But at the same time, it's like, if you stand on a really high number, I feel like they're also easy to beat because they'll keep pushing it until they're more likely to bust. So you got 17. I'm not going to risk, but I don't know if 17, I don't know the rules. They're definitely, as stupid as it sounds, there's probably like a meta to Blackjack where it's like, you get this, don't hit. You get this, you know, hit. And again, that goes back to the simple math, but with a game like this, it's so much more interesting because there are all these random weird cards that break that, you know, as stupid as it is, like I said, meta. And I think 10 is like always, yeah, pretty much because in most cases, not like excluding this game, if you're at 10, you should always hit because you can't go over. If you get ace, you're set. You get a queen or like a face card, it's a 10, you're good. But in this game, there are 12s and 13s and cards that can, like that one I showed before, that has 3 different numbers that could be up to 9, so it does get more interesting. I think there's literally one that might be, probably more than one, that's literally just 21. But as great as that sounds, I made the mistake of not thinking this through a few times, where I was like, oh, instant 21, that's awesome. But as opposed to the cards like instant Blackjack, where it'll fill the in-between, like the gap, the amount you need, it'll just be a 21 on top of what you already have, so if you don't get it first, it's gonna hurt. But this is really good. I'm probably gonna beat him. Yeah, he's dead. He's only got 13 health, and I've got pretty good setup. So, no, I can't test the healing here. That's fine, we're good. I think the advantage, oh no, it doesn't. I wasn't sure if it went across matches. One thing that throws me off in this game, and it might be explained later outside the demo, they have some terminology I don't know what it actually means. So like, I think encounter's probably the battle itself. There might be another one that I'm not 100% sure about. It might not be as complicated as I think, but it would still be useful to know. But whatever. Sweep the leg. Okay, this is like the rule card that guy had, but it burns, and when it's burned, it's removed from this encounter, which is probably, like I said, the current. There is one, though, where it's like, it'll explain that it's permanently burned. King of Kings, burn all currently played kings. Then take 1 damage and gain 10 chips. So this is good if I'm looking for money. I haven't had major issues with money, so I've been playing scratch, play, deal 3 damage, increase the damage of all scratch cards by 2 this encounter. I feel like I just wouldn't get scratch cards like consistently enough for something like this to be good, but I could be wrong. And then I like to check what we got. Credit card knife, I haven't seen this one. Exploit, lose 5 chips, deal 5 damage, increase the chip cost of this card by 5 for the rest of the encounter. It's pretty neat. It relies on me getting advantages. I don't mind spending some chips. I do like having more kings, but it does get rid of all current kings. So this would be bad if like I had 1 king down, then I cast another one, put another one down. But in the same vein, something that's really cool about this game as well is, so let's say I'm still hitting and the other character has like, I don't want to say stand, but they stood, whatever. I can still put cards down that can mess with their cards. So like they might stand at a 17 or even like a 21, and then I could put this King of Kings card down and say like one of their cards is a king. that 21 is now 20 or 10, 20, 11. Sorry, but yeah, now that card's 11. So it's like you can really screw with the other side, but they can do the same thing to you, I think. Yeah, I just don't think it really happens often to me. Oh, this is a 10 as well. That's something I kind of forget sometimes. Like, this card isn't just like an ability I'm holding. It's like, it is a 10. It doesn't look like a 10 or anything, but it's a 10. It's unfortunate the townfolk call these gamblers degenerates, when the truth is that they are the real victims. Look at that, we got a message in here. So I was saying before about the way the floors work. You can see in the bottom left, I think my mouse cursor is visible, I fought the bartender, the drunk, and then on the right side we have question marks, which are events, and then the manager. The manager we have to fight to get to the next floor. The question marks, they're usually just like, it could really be anything, I guess. Like in this case, there's the gambler. If we beat him, we get his 50 chips. Or we could have a drink, which, I'm trying to remember, I think not all the events are consistent. Like, one might be like, there are 4 cards you can buy, and then those cards will be random, but certain ones are just like, have a drink and you'll get health back, or don't have a drink because it costs money and you'll lose health, you know, or sleep for health, stuff like that. Gamblers, so most of the characters I come across stand on 17, so that's pretty consistent, which I think that's just because that's like a blackjack thing. So as you play, you'll definitely get, you know, more interesting cards, but as I'm looking at it now, it's like, again, I can get up to a 7 or lower, so anything from here to the left is good, anything from here to the right is not. So it's like, aside from the reverse card, it's like, do I like those odds? I don't know. I'll stand because I'll take 5 damage, which I can heal. Okay, nice. So in this case, he busted. Unlucky, but he used the 12, which we know doesn't exist. He even has a 13 as a discard, but I'm gonna deal 20 damage to him. The annoying thing is, I only need 1 more damage to kill him. I've had it where I literally beat them in 1 turn. Let's do this. I win! I didn't even have to hit stand. That's the first time I've done that where I've killed them mid, like, turn. I read something interesting recently, a random fact, because I'm saying kill when I've thought about it. Like, one thing not a lot of people know, and this isn't the interesting part yet, so when, like, gaming websites are writing stuff about, you know, like, a guide or an article about, like, alright, you need to shoot this guy to kill him, or whatever, stuff like that. So I don't know how heavily it comes into play. I'd like to think with gaming it wouldn't be as bad, but a lot of advertising stuff is automated, and it's not like, oh, Blizzard paid this site to advertise World of Warcraft on there. It's all handled, called programmatic advertising. So usually there are other parties doing everything, and the site kind of just runs as is. Bigger sites like IGN are gonna have more direct stuff, but regardless. Stuff like when you say things like kill, that can be a word that they're more likely to blacklist, and they won't be like, we're not gonna put no ads in this site, but you might have some cooking or like Target like type brand, the irony of Target, but you know, a more tame company that's like, no, we don't want to have our brand next to violent images and, you know, text. So the interesting part that I was reading about recently, I don't know if it was someone that worked at Nintendo. What was it? I think it was someone who worked at Nintendo. They were talking about how for a while, I'm sure this is probably still true, someone could probably fact check me because I don't play a lot of Nintendo games to begin with, but about how they said a lot of their, I don't know if it was marketing or the games themselves, but instead of saying things like shoot or kill or, you know, more, like I said, kind of like violent words, they would say defeat. And as silly as it is, yeah, no, that makes sense. And when you think about certain games, like, say, Splatoon, you know, you're not killing other players or, like, squid characters, you know, they're just blooping, whatever you want to call them, into, like, ink. And there are a lot of games that do try to take out, like, any blood or potential problems like that to make it more accessible, to get better, like, lower ratings so that more people can play. I'm trying to think, what was another good one? Rocket League. Rocket League is a good one. I think in testing, I don't know if it was post-launch or not. I don't think it was, but I think there used to be drivers visible, but they got rid of them because you can blow up other cars by charging into them at high speeds. So if there's a driver, that would say, you know, you're killing them essentially. You could say, oh, you're defeating them, but they wanted to get rid of that completely because who wants to see cars exploding with people inside them, and, you know, in a game that's more arcadey, which I say that, I'm sure a lot of people do. Let's just think of like games like Twisted Metal or whatever, but just random interesting stuff in your indie demo playthrough that like 10 people might see on my account. This is why you should subscribe to my channel, so I can make more videos like this and, you know, support it. Realistically, I think I'll do more indie playthroughs and, I don't know, maybe make some videos of original content I put on my site. But anyway, what do we got? Monterey Jack. I haven't got this one yet. Exploit it to heal health and burn it. On stand, heals for 3 more health this encounter. So that probably doesn't make it heal if I stand. But next time I exploit it, well, yeah, I don't know how they do like recycling of cards. I fought one NPC where they exhausted all their cards and then they just kept using 1 card and that was all they had. It was a 10. So every turn after that, it was just 10. That was it. It wasn't like 10, 20, no, just 10. But I think your cards get shuffled back in when you run out. -2 of hearts. See, this looks like a 2 at a quick glance, but with the red, it's negative, which isn't terrible. It says reduces the number of hearts. So I don't know if that's literally just a -2 or if it's like a -2 to heart cards. That might be what it is. 9 is pretty decent. I like the healing though. I remember I had one card last night where it was like, I took 1 damage until I could get rid of this card that was in my hand at the bottom here, which we haven't seen yet. That one, I must have lost like 10 health because the conditions to get rid of it were just so annoying. I'm gonna stay in night because I know I can get health. It just might be more expensive than I want. Yeah, I don't feel like losing a card. It's a random card is stolen. So now I'm spending 65 chips when I just need 5 health and just burn all my chips. I have to be careful about that. Counterfeiter. I think this costs money. I don't have money, so I'm just gonna... Yeah, 45. With this, you can make 1 card's value increase by 1 or decrease by 1. Which I'm sure you could probably do some interesting stuff with that. And I think you can keep doing it as long as you have the money for it. I've never fought the poker player. I fight the janitor a lot. Let's see what the poker player's deal is. Blackjack isn't my usual game, but it's quiet here tonight, so let's play. 17. I never really look at their cards, but why not? They don't have a lot. They do have the jacks, the 8s, those are pretty high. The ace up your sleeve is interesting though. When you play this, you put an ace, okay, of a random suit into your hand. So I touched on this a little before and I was explaining the bottom here, like I said, I haven't actually had anything to do it yet, is your hand. While the field, whatever, I don't know the technical terms, but the table is what's in play. Your hand is just like abilities you can throw in usually at any time, depending on the conditions of the card. So if they use this, they get an ace in their hand that they can throw at any point, which is very useful. Okay, so like, again, if you really wanted to get technical, like, alright, they've used an 8 and a jack. I know this is all they have left to pull. They're gonna stand because they're already above 17, but it's kind of interesting. Yeah, reverse card. Useless unless that plays into the next round. That works for me. So they've got 2 aces? I guess... Wait. 1 ace? Ace up your... because this is 0. They immediately put the ace down, I think. Origin. Yeah, okay. And then a 6. Okay, yeah, no, I was very confused for a second. 20 was really good. Only 3 damage, but keeps me positive. Okay, yeah, they are hitting first, I was just gonna say. Alright, see, I could go for another 5. I don't think I'll get it, because I only have 3 out of however many. And I'll just do 16 damage straight to them, because it's pretty nasty hit. This is enough that I could potentially get a kill. I would love to use this and take them out. It's like 10 chips, but I barely have any to begin with. Look at that, I'm already out of them. I can exploit this to heal, but I don't need to heal. So we're gonna stand, make it better. Do 1 damage. Yeah, they've definitely shuffled in by now. Man, I should fight them more. I feel like, because the benefit of their hand were really the jacks and the ace, I guess, or aces. Because it makes it easier to get 20, but they are busting a lot. Yeah, there's no reason for me to hit it yet, unless I want to go for, like, overkill. But I'm going to deal 13 damage because they busted. Easy. I mean, I have enough from that encounter that I could reveal it, but I'm just going to stick with what I got. On play, lock. So lock was something I didn't understand until I saw it. When a card is locked, it stays on the playing field across turns. Not like the whole encounter itself, but turns, unless it's unlocked by something else. From what I've seen is both sides typically have, not often, but there's a chance of someone having a card that can unlock or lock your card, making for an interesting, situation. This is weird. Okay, so, no, never mind, I understand. This isn't a bad one. So if I take damage 3 times, I'll heal 10. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. I like that, the way that sounds. Something I didn't think about, too. The way I was looking at the different difficulties in the beginning of the suits. I'm pretty sure, again, if you get 21, that, like, suits special thing applies. But I never thought about it as, like, when I picked hearts, that meant, oh, only hearts would heal me, but I wouldn't get the benefit of whichever one does extra damage. But in reality, it's just you start with a suit of all hearts to make it easier for you to heal. So I played a lot with a glitch, but it's been difficult for me to catch when these things happen, which might be something the dev can maybe make more obvious. Like, when you deal extra damage, it does show the damage numbers, like in tiny, whatever, text. But there have been a lot of times where the damage happens, or healing happens, and I never see, like, oh, I dealt extra damage, or there have been countless cases where the enemy did a bunch of damage to me, and I had literally no idea why. So, I don't know if that could be shown better, but I imagine that will probably be a problem. I don't know. I'm talking too much. Again, it's like, there's a chance that a developer from the Purple Moss Collectors, the developer of this game, sees this video, but I wouldn't bank on it. I feel like the best way people will see this is if someone's searching for more about this game, or I'm probably going to put it on my Slither Games Steam Curator page, which you're welcome to check out. I don't think I'll put it on my site, but maybe. Not sure how I feel about that. I've gone back and forth. So we've got a 17. We'll stick it out. If I'm lucky, they'll bust. They did get shield, which lowered my damage a bit. Kind of want to lower that sound. That sound of the shield was freaking loud. Stick it out. 18. You got 1 damage on me. I probably got advantage still. That's something you have to keep up with too, like seeing cards that have exploits on them, because if you don't know, you won't realize, oh, I could mess with that person's card. Which just comes with time. 20, damn. I thought about using my thing, I probably should have. My, what's it called? Credit card knife. So, like, sneaky. Like, I just flew recently to Puerto Rico. It sounds like something like, I don't want to have that. Some, like, spy shit. Nice. Plate of escargot. I'm just kidding, escargot. I don't even know if it's how you... It's probably not even how you spell it, is it? As I'm looking at it now, it might literally just be escargot. I don't actually know how escargot's spelled. But I feel like the D isn't in there. I have noticed they have some silly card names. Oh my god. Get out of here! Instead of being an NFT, it's an NFC. Freaking, what are they called? Bored Ape? Yacht Club? Sounds right. Wonder how they're doing now. On hit, set value to a random... they also have, like, a card that's, like, AI generated is how they call it. It's not, like, actually as far as I know, but it's just, like, random stuff happens. Similar to this. Random value between 1 and current value. -1. Current value. I assume that's just me. That's what I have right now. Not have. So, like, if I had, like, 15, it would be between 1 and -1. And current value, oh no, so it'd be between 1 and 14. And it's a 12? Wait. I don't understand. Is it actually a 12? Or is it come out as a 12, then you hit? Yeah, and then it changes. Does it keep changing? I don't like the way that sounds. This is the key card. This one was one where it locks. I'd like to mess with that. Just grants shield. Shield's good. I haven't really done much with shielding. On stand, rounds up 2 times, then grant shield. Oh, what's with the lock? The NFC, if you will, just sounded too, I don't know. It sounded dicey. I feel like I was gonna screw that up somehow. Hello again, I hope everyone's looking after you tonight. Sure, I've got time for a game. So similar, 17 stand, 65 chips, it's got 30 to 30 health, nothing too crazy. The health does get more consistent, like, the health more consistently increases, so that's where I guess definitely more the challenge comes in. But the manager's freaking annoying. Like, he just swapped one of my cards, but he's also got, yeah, he's got the ace up your sleeve. What's he got? Handy credit cards. This is a 10 he can put in his hand. He's got more of the business cards for stealing my cards. And this is just a 0. So I can heal myself, but it'll get rid of the card, which is the thing we don't really like. Because if it burns it, I lose the jack. But, well, I don't have any advantage right now to exploit anyway. The cool thing about this goes back to what I was saying earlier. If I hit and bust, I could exploit if I have advantage, get rid of this card, and I'll be back under. Hopefully, anyway. I'm gonna take the 1 damage here. It's not that bad. This may be my first advantage. Get well soon. Nice. Bastard. Oh. He's gonna get to use that unless I get my lock card. Oh, it's such a... If I get my unlock, which there's a decent chance. Yeah, I could use that. Oh, that's annoying. So I healed on that one. I think it's like 5. I still don't know how the healing works. Because it says on a winning blackjack, hearts heal you. Blackjack score is equal to us. Okay, so it is what I thought. So I would have to get 21. Or 22 or 20, depending on the bust limit. But does that, how much do I heal by? Do I heal by, like, the last card to go in, all of them together? How does an ace work? Does it go by what it's currently as? Probably. These are things that I guess will come with time. 15. Yeah, stand. Oh, I wish he didn't have to get well soon. This is a good hit, but he might heal. This will put him at a 10. If I can deal 10 damage next turn, he won't even get a chance to use that. Do I have an exploit? No. He's starting at -1. He's got a -11 of dice. It's just so goofy looking at some of the cards. There's a collection in the menu as you unlock them to look back at them. They're just, some of them are pretty funny. There's a chance he busts. He needs 5 or lower. He's got 1 5, he's got a 2, so that's what, 2 to 3 cards right now? Yeah, I would say 2, because an ace is a 1, so I guess 3. Bust. Oh, I busted. But even though I busted, if you've been keeping up with what's going on, also, how do you get the 2? God damn it. I can kill him right now with... Sorry, I can defeat him right now. If I do it 3 times. 3 times? Oh no, he had a shield, didn't he? I was like half watching. I was looking at how long I've been recording and forgetting, like... So usually when I play a game for like guides or reviews, I'll record for an hour. And in my mind, I'm like, alright, I have an hour to record. I'm up to 34 minutes right now. I've got a half hour left. Plenty of time. But then I'm remembering, like, I want to keep these videos closer to 30 minutes. So, I'm doing a bad job right now. Let's see if I can get to the next floor. And go from there. Let's stick his 9. Nice, he already busted, I win. Even while I've been playing for like 30 minutes in this floor. Yeah, I feel like there's no way I only played for an hour and a half, but I probably, because I'm not commentating and it's pausing a lot, I probably did. Game of space and time, move all your other played cards to your opponent's side, then stand. It's a good way to get them to bust. Why are there two? Oh, this isn't even a card. It's just 0. I don't know what the advantage of this is. Is this the one I like? No. It's still good, though. Create a random queen, add her to your hand, set value to 11. Sure. Before I leave, I get a tarot reading. A tarot reading. Pretty much you just get to pick one that you bring with you. This is just another card that goes in your hand. So the Magician, create 2 magic trick cards and 1 ace up your sleeve, then put them into your draw pile. See, on discard, I don't know what on discard means. I assume it's just when it gets taken out, like when the round ends. I'm not sure. The Sun. On play, choose a card in your draw pile and put it on top. That's cool. Choose 1 card to create Valentine's card that heals both sides. Ace of Hearts, Ace. I don't know the Lovers is what I'm using right now. So I can just keep creating the same thing. Then put it into your draw pile. That's kind of cool. I think I'm just going to go with the Sun because that's a good one regardless. So this is where it gets... I kind of forgot to explain it the whole time I've been playing. So the way I was saying it's kind of still does function like Slay the Spire, but not visually. And games similar to that where you have a map where you're picking which path to go. It's not just this, but it is also the, like, every time you pick, alright, I want to fight the Bard, or I want to go to the inn to sleep. Those are, you know, that's creating the paths. And then you have this more visually where it's like, alright, I finished the floor, tavern floor. Now I can go to the lounge or go to the basement. I'm going to go to the basement because basement's a lot sillier. Something cool that you just saw. This is the big reason I wanted to make sure I showed this. Every floor has its own table design. They have their own, you know, enemies, people. They have different events. Like, it's really cool. Their own music. And so far, I'm enjoying the music of this game. The thing that keeps throwing me off, which I didn't mention on the previous floor, the tavern, is I could swear the song has a bit in it that is so similar to a Vaporwave song I like, Resonance, which a lot of people probably know. I wish I could remember the artist's name, but it's escaping me. But it's like the most popular Vaporwave song, I would say. But there's a version of it with like an acoustic version that reminds me so much of the music in this. But anyway, let's play this out for a second, see if I can show anything cool. Yeah, see, we've got a giant rat. This is why I wanted to come down here. Instead of it being like the poker player or the bard, which is even neat too. You get freaking creatures and like necromancers down here. When I did it last night, I lost down here because it was tough, but I'm gonna, instead of playing this out, I'm gonna, I think, end the recording. I think I'm about to cough because I've been talking too much. My throat's coarse. I need agua. But with that said, I'm gonna cut the recording because like I said, it's already coming up on 38 minutes and I feel bad making these videos too long. So if someone does watch this video or watches the whole thing, let me know what you think. Let me know if it's too long, if you prefer shorter, if you prefer maybe things edited, if you'd like the just, you know, me just rambling, talking, showing the game, straight cut. I kind of like the idea of not editing these too heavily because I don't want to cut out all the some of the more interesting things I do bring up. Yeah. But aside from all that, feel free to subscribe for more stuff. The more people that subscribe, the more support I get, the more likely I am to keep doing these things. I do enjoy playing demos, so I'll always be playing them regardless, but it's just a matter of whether I'm taking the time to do recordings and post them for people to see, so people can see some cool, you know, indie games and whatnot. But if you're interested in trying, you know, Dungeons and Degenerate Gamblers, I have to, like, focus when I say it. I will have the demo link in the description, so feel free to check that out. I believe this and many other demos have been popping up because they're getting ready for the Steam Next Fest coming. I don't know the dates for that offhand, but not important. But just a quick overview again, not really overview, but just quick heads up. Dungeons and Degenerate Gamblers. It's currently planned for 2024. It's being developed by Purple Mouse Collectors, and it's published by Yogscast Games. So, yeah. Thank you for watching, as always.